Welcome everyone to our class, Modern Programming Language. Today our discussion is about object-oriented programming and plus practice. You can find the code that is available on the GitHub that I uploaded, or you can search by go to GitHub and go to my repository. Okay, search my name, or you can click the link that I provided to you, and then go to MLP 21st. Then you will see the folder and then the file that I uploaded to you. Today the folder we will use this one, PHP OP workshop. You can use any by running the PHP code that I uploaded, so you can use any PHP version, but I recommended you to use version 7 and version 8. Okay, it should not be version 5 because some code is not support for version 5. Okay, I'm here using PHP Storm as my editor. Okay, so I go to the folder that I'm doing coding. You may use VS Code because we are talking about object-oriented programming, so it related to object, how to create object, how to create a class, how to do inheritance, how to do a function property inside the object. Okay, let's see what we can do with the object. For example, here we have object a product. Okay, I name it as class.php file. Class.product.php. We will go through by the number. You see, from number 1 to number 17 that already run the code. Some may work fine, some may error. Okay, according to the file name. Some may error because I already said to be error. Okay, let me see one by one. Okay, so we start by the first is about creating class and init it or create an object. Okay, from the class. Okay. For example, here we have class product. Okay, class.product.php. Okay, this is the class name. Okay, you can see here we start by any class is start by class. Okay. Okay, this one we declare the class. Okay, declaring class. This one, right? Where the class name is product. Okay, and then we declare the property. Okay, the first property is ID. Okay, declaring properties. Okay, the first property is ID. Okay, the property will start by $sign followed by the property name. Okay, and then another property is start by $sign and followed by the name of the property itself. Okay, this property is private. We said to be private, so it means that it can be used only within this class. Okay, we have the function getID. Okay, so we want to get ID and return this one. For example, if we call the product class product and then we want to return the ID, we will call this function, and then we have the set ID. To set ID, which ID we want to set to our function. Okay, for example, we use this. Okay, you can see this one $sign by this, and then hyphen, and then greater than sign is used to refer to something. Okay, used to refer to something. For example, get ID here, we want to return the ID. Okay, we want to return ID, so we have to access the ID first, and then we have to access the ID. Then we have to use this, and then assign what we call refer to the ID. Okay. To refer to the ID, we use this style, and also we refer to the method, we use this style also. Okay. We set ID because we want to use the ID. Before we can return ID, we have to set it first. Okay, and then the same thing as the property name, the name that we want to return a name, right? We have to get, and then we have we set in get. Okay, this one same thing. This is the class product. You can see here we have two properties. Okay, we have four method of 4 functions. Okay. This is the properties. Here this is the function. Okay, function or method. Okay, same thing, different name. Okay, same thing, different name. So we declare the first is we have to declare the class. Okay, we declare the class. This one we declare class by start by class. Okay, and then followed by the class name, and then we declare the property. Okay. If you are not declare any private or protect, you can declare by public. Okay, you can be used any. It can be used outside the class also. Okay, and then we declare the function or method. Okay. If we look this code, okay, if we look at this code and then we generate to be a class diagram. Okay. A class diagram, we can see such like this. Okay, you can see the class. Okay, you can see this one is class product. Okay, this is the code. This is the diagram. Okay, the diagram or the visual view. You look at this one, you will see the class diagram that represent to you the class by class name. This is product, this is class name, and then two property, there is ID and name, and then we have 4 method or function displayed here. Okay, you want to run this one. This is the prototype of the class. Okay, the prototype of object. So if you want to use this one, we have to initiate it or create an object to make this thing work. Okay, so we create on the index.php here. So you have to include the class.product.php. Okay, first, and then you initiate the code. Okay, this one we start by any variable and then equal to, and then new. Okay, this is the way we initiate any class to be an object. Okay, and then followed by the class name. Okay, class followed by the class name. Then we want to set, because we have two property that we have to set. There is ID and then name, and then we have two method that we call set ID and set name. So we want to set the ID and then we want to set name. So we try to use this one by using hyphen and then greater than sign to assign any ID. Okay, to use the first is we use an object. Okay, an object that we create object from the class product, and then we assign to this variable is $s1, and then when we want to use the function set ID and then the function set name here, so we can refer by hyphen and then greater than sign and then followed by the method name. Okay, and then we assign one variable. Okay, one parameters. Okay, here, because you look at here, the set ID and set name, they receive one parameters. Okay, ID and name. Okay, as the name of the property. Okay, we set here, and then we can get ID and get name here. Okay, this is the way we use the method, and then we set the method. Okay, then when we try to run this one, okay, it will display you the thing that we echo. Okay, we call get ID and get name. Okay, this one, so we display you one and and TV, because we set 1 and TV to the ID and then the name. Okay, this is the we create a product, and then we initiate the object to be from the class as a prototype to be an object. Okay, we want to create our own function, the same thing that we discussed, because the creating our own function is not difficult. For example, here same thing that we have last time we echo our product by using by calling we initiate the object first, and then we echo it as this one, right? As you see this one, we echo this one, and then we display. Okay, so if we want to make that thing happen inside the class, we can create a function. As here I call function info, so it will retrieve I will use the ID, and then we use name, and then we return to us. When we call this function only, and then it will display to us the information as the first example. Okay, this one we include remember when you want to use any class or any function or any library, you have to include it. Okay, then we initiate the object. Okay, and then we use that function. Okay, we have function info, this one, function info. Okay, and then we display to get the result. Okay, let's run this one, how it will look like. Okay, if we return you something like this, it may something wrong from the processing of the output. Okay, you may test by using another interpreter, PHP interpreter, because this one is a built-in interpreter that run via PHP store. You can use another server, okay, and another server PHP engine. For example, here I'm using PHP MEM Pro for PHP, so I'm using version 7.3.3. So I start the server. So I go to I have this one MLP22, because my folder is MLP21st. So I go to here, and then I see all my folder that I'm working on. Okay, and then I go to PHP OOP workshop, and then you can go by one. For example, here we have already done the first folder, and then you can go to the second. For example, there's something wrong here because it did not refer to that data. Okay, we have to fix this one. Okay, we have to fix this one. There's something wrong inside. Okay, or the public, maybe this one is private, this is not be accessible. Okay, this one I want to show you that you can create a function, any function that you want to make to work according to the need. Okay, you can create it. Overload. Okay, we want to assign, because we don't know what kind of argument or variable that we access to this info function. So we have to create such a function get argument to make it to check which one is belong to ID and which one is belong to name. Here we use for each just for looping our argument, and then we use switch to check if there is the setting for ID. Okay, and then it will assign to ID. Okay, if the setting to name, it will assign to name. Okay, for example, because in info we set blank. Okay, we set blank, we do not know what argument or what variable that we try to receive. Okay, if you are facing with we don't know that what the user will insert the data to our class, so we can use this one to check and then to assign it. Okay, to support, we call this one is overload. Okay, let's run this one. For example, For example, this one we set 1, okay, TV, and then we assign to info ID and name, okay, ID and name. For this one we set by CV 1 and TV, okay, we set ID and name. You can change to be another, for example, ID to be nickname or last name or whatever, but it should be matched with the ID here and name here, okay. Because if you look at here, we have two property, right? We have two property. There is ID and name. Okay, we have to ID and name. If we want to receive something else than ID, than name, we have to use something that function get argument to check this one. Okay, to check this one. This thing we call overload. Okay, we receive the argument, but we do not know what the name of the argument is. So we can define as this one to make it work. Okay, call overload. Okay, we have get and set. This is a magic method that can be used to set. On the previous we use set name, set method, right? Okay, set name, set ID. So we can use the magic method to replace the code that we were created. For example, this one, if you compare, okay, for example, this one, the class is name, class product. Okay, we have two property, that is ID and name. We wanna do the same thing. Okay, we wanna do the same thing, get ID and get name, but we add more. We are discussing about set and get magic method. Okay, remember that any magic method that will start by 2 underscore. Okay, 2 underscore symbol. Okay, this one is start by 2 underscore. You can see this one. Okay, set, and then followed by the name. The name of the data, and then the value of the data. Okay, this one, and then this is for set, this is for get. Okay, whatever kind of, how many kind of data it can be handled without this one. If we just use this ID and name, we have just only two property. Okay, we have only two property. By using this one, we can handle for many 10 variable within one class. Okay, this one, and then we are using info, because we use a style of overload. Okay, info, and then we do not provide any name. Okay, we let user define it, and then for each, and then we use this to assign the data. Okay, this data, this property as data, and then we loop the info. Okay, the info, and then equal to data. We assign the data into the info, and then we return the info to print out outside. Okay, let's see the output, what it will look like. This one, for example, we set ID and name. Okay, ID and name. ID is 1, name is a computer, and then we echo the product from the info. Okay, if you look at this thing. Okay, we can set and get. Okay, we set 2, and then we get 2. Okay, we set by 2. Okay, this is ID and name. Okay, ID is 1, computer. Okay, name is computer, and then we echo. Try to run this one. We should get 1 and computer. Okay, 1 and computer. And I try to display the style of writing the code, and then the result should be the same. Okay, the result, we need the same result, but different style of managing the code. Okay, we try to minimize the code, but the result will be the same. Okay, constructor and destructor, as we discussed. This is also the magic method, because it starts by 2 underscore and then followed by construct. Okay, followed by construct. The construct mean that, as we discussed, the construct mean that when we initiate this project, this class, okay, this function will automatically run. Okay, will automatically run. we no need to call the function, it will run by itself automatically. Okay, then we, for example, this one we have two ID. Okay, we have two properties. Okay, we set by ID and name. Okay, and then we do not specify the property outside, we direct property inside. Okay, so here we have ID and name. Okay, and then we want to return this one, return ID and return name. Okay, and then if we want to destroy this what we call the function. Okay, the function, we can call this function. Okay, and to underscore. Okay, followed by destruct. Okay, destruct. This is a magic method or predefined method. Okay, let's run this one. First we have to include, remember this one, we have to include the class.product.php, and then we initiate the class to be an object. And then remember we have two variable, right? Receive the construct, receive two argument. Okay, that variable, this name is ID and name, so we have to fulfill the requirement of the class and the method. Okay, and then we echo this one from info, from the method info. Okay, try to run this one. We should get one computer, and then this one, because it's destruct and construct, when it created, then by default the dynamic type of programming such as PHP, it will manage the memory or the variable by itself. And then if you specify destruct, mean that it will run the destruct. After it run this one, it will run again. After it run construct, it run also destruct, because it's a magic method. It will run by itself. Okay, run by itself. So you look at the result, it will display you one, that one is a variable that we send as argument, and then object has been destroyed. Okay, this one, they will return this one also automatically. You look at this one, we do not call this method. Okay, you look at this sentence, we do not call any method. We initiate the product, right? We initiate the object, and then we refer to info function, right? We initiate this one. Okay, product, from class product to be an object, and then we use this one, info. But construct and destruct, we do not do anything, but it will run automatically by itself. Okay, this is we call construct and destruct. Okay, actually you no need to write the code as destruct here, because the PHP, it will manage by itself. But if you want to make sure that the object that you create and then we will destroy by manual, so you can write the code function to underscore destruct. Okay, if you want to look at this one, what is the class diagram look like. Okay, sorry. Can use the diagram and show diagram, and then try to if you look at here, we have the construct name, right? We have construct name. Okay, something, because they are the same down class product many here, so that's why they are confusing to producing the class diagram. Let's see, we run create again for class diagram. Okay, this one we have construct. Okay, the construct include and also destruct. Okay, and then info. Okay, you look at here, the construct will run by automatically. Okay, and destruct also will run by automatically, and then info, this is the user defined class method. Okay, you can see this one, constant. Okay, in constant, we actually in the default, in outside the class we use define. Okay, for example, this one we use define to define the constant. All right, or you use define like this, right? define, for example, it is to be lowercase, okay, define, and then you follow by something, right, blah blah blah, db connect or whatever, okay, something like that, okay. You follow this code, they will provide you the code structure, okay, for you, this one, okay. For example, name, string, value, something like this, name or string, a bow, something like this, yeah. But define should be defined like this, okay, define like this. This is the constant in the normal condition. If you want to use define, if you want to use constant, okay, in class, okay, you have to refer to this one, okay, const, okay, const, small case, okay, small letter, okay. And then you start by the constant name will be a capital letter. Will be the standard one according to PSR. You have to set by the capital letter, and then follow by value that you want to store to this ID, for example, as a constant, okay. The constant means that when you define, the value cannot be changeable, okay, you cannot change after, okay. This is the chart definition of constant, okay. For example, here we have constant ID, and then we have another variable named school, I name as Nusantara, and then we have the function info to display our data, okay. And then we declare one variable that is data, and then you wanna use the define, or you wanna use the constant in the object oriented, especially in PHP, you have to use self, okay, this one. Okay, this is we call declaring constant, okay. And then this one, the axis constant, we say this one axis constant, okay, by using self, okay, by self, okay. This one we use self, and then follow by colon, okay, follow by colon, and then follow by our constant name, okay. As here we use ID, and we are using school, okay. We remember that as we discussed that we say that you need to by the normal access the property or method, we use this, okay, and then followed by the hyphen, and then greater than, okay, hyphen greater than this one. This one is used to refer to any public or any property or any method, okay. There is not constant, there is not interface, there is not but binomial, okay. But constant, there we have to use self to refer this one, okay. And then we want to return this one, okay, return data, okay. Let's see how it works. Okay, it should display my ID and then my school, okay. Okay, it should be run, and we will show us the ID and our school, okay. You can run also with terminal, okay. This one, so I run via the memp, okay. Go to the constant, okay, this one, okay, ID and school, okay. Static, okay. Before we go static, let's see constant, what it will look like in terms of the class diagram, okay. Then show, you see this one, they will display something different, okay. This one ID, and then it's followed by something like this, okay. The symbol refer to constant, okay, and then the symbol is a public method. Okay, public method. This one is cool. It's public method also. You look at this symbol, right? This, okay, the lock symbol is unlock. Okay, mean public. Class name is student. Okay, class name student. Static. Okay, we want by default the static we used to what we say the static variable or the static method, something that we will maintain its stage when it runs first and when it will continue from that stage. Okay, for example, we already add 1, so and then we plus something plus, for example, it will start from 1 to 3, not start from 0 again. This is we call static. Okay, the code is same here. We have a product and then we have the construct here to run our static. We have the one property name is static. There is next ID equal to 1. Okay, this one, and then we return this ID and name. Okay, static also, you look at here, static use self also to refer to it. Okay, you see here we have static property. There is next ID equal to 1. We set equal to 1, and then if we want to refer to the static, we use self also. This one. Okay, self also, and then colon, and then followed by the static name, and then plus. We want a plus. Okay, you see this one we access by the next ID, the static, and then constant we use self to refer to it. Okay, and then another is the same thing. Okay, the same, we set get set, and then we display the info. Let's see it will work or not. Okay, some it work, some may not. Okay, okay, for example, here we have one computer, 2 and phone, because we include the class. Okay, the static class, sorry, the static method. Okay, and then we initiate by using array. Okay, two times of we initiate product, because the first is computer, second is phone, and then we loop the product as item. Okay, if you access array like this, you have to loop because they are setting in one single variable, but they are using array to store the first is computer, the second is phone from the product class. Okay, if we're looping. Okay, and then if we got 1 and 2 like this. Okay, because you start from 1 and then if we increase to be 2. Okay, you look at the code here. Okay, we use next ID, we start from 1. Okay, and then the next will be 2. Okay, and then we assign to the ID. Okay, because we assign to ID this one, we receive the name, but ID we automatically generated by the next ID. Okay, that we define here as the default one is 1. Okay, we start from 1. Okay, and then we do the info to get the result. Okay, as we are doing here. Okay, let's see in terms of class diagram, the static, what this will look like. We have something that as a symbol, they are a little bit different here. You see this one, static. Okay, there are different symbol. For PHP Storm, they display as this one, the ID is static. Okay, one is the main objective, the main advantage of the object-oriented programming is inheritance. Okay, we can inherit or we can refer to the parent class. Okay, as a child class or superclass to be subclass. Same thing, same. Okay, we have superclass. For example, we have a superclass here is we call product. Okay, and then we have the class radio is the child class or subclass. Okay, you look at here, we have a class product. Okay, and there are same same thing that we discussed about static, right? Okay, and then the main point here is about this one. Okay, we have a class product, and then we wanna make radio, okay, as a one product of us. We want to extend the product. We don't want to write the code again like this. Okay, for example, you do not do the extend, or you do not do inheritance, you do not use the inheritance feature, so you have to write radio as this one. Okay, get ID, get name, or whatever, and then echo to as info to return the data. So it will be redundant, the code. Okay, the code will be duplicated. So we can use this extend. In terms of PHP, they use extends with S. Okay, remember this one. Okay, we extend what? Extend product. Okay, mean that radio will consist everything about product. Okay, it will be everything about product. Example, as we have a parent, right? So everything about parent is us, something like that. This is we call inheritance. Okay, if we look at our in class diagram, will we see that there are something inherit from something. Okay, the radio inherit from the product. Okay, if we show you like this, radio inherit from the product. Okay, this symbol for inherit or associate. Another name we call associate. Okay, if we open the another things, you see in product they have properties. We have method as a magic method, construct, and then we have the another method. But radio there is no things. Okay, but when it inherit from the parent as product here, mean that radio they consist everything about the product. Okay, let's test it will run or not. Okay, from here we are going to test from, for example, here class product. Remember that when we inherit, because we do not use any auto loading, we do not use any namespace, so we have to include the product and radio. Okay, and then we initiate the radio from radio. Okay, not from product. Okay, this one. You look at the product, there is no from radio, there is no things from radio, right? There is no code, there is no method, there is no property. But as we say inheritance, if we consist the radio, we consist everything about product, the property and method. Okay, this one. We initiate the radio, and then we send agreement to agreement this one. Okay, first is call it, and then another is Langsari. So it will display this one. One is call it, the second is Langsari. Okay, and then we loop our array. Okay, our array object. Okay, and we display one call it, and the second is Langsari. Let's see if we run or not. Okay. One, you see, one is call it, and the second is Langsari. Don't worry about BR. Okay, BR is for we use it when we run on the web browser, because we be a new line in the HTML format. Okay, for example, we are running here inheritance. Okay, it will be something like this. Okay, not the same line. This is BR we are using. Okay, this is inheritance. Okay, this is inheritance. Okay, inheritance and constructor. Okay, we have the same class. Okay, we have product. Okay, we have class product that consists of this code. Okay, and then we have the class radio. Okay, but we want to override. Okay, we want to override our code. For example, construct name, right? We want to echo this one. Okay, we want to echo this one. So we can write, we extend and then override the code. Okay, for example, this one, we rename this one. Okay, it will loop, but we want to do this one. Okay, override the parent. Okay, the parent is construct name of the product, and then okay, then we use this one to want to echo this one. Okay, let's see the result. This one. Okay, we have to include product and radio, and then the same thing, we initiate the radio object. Okay, radio object from the class, and then we loop. Okay, we use this one to loop as item, and then we call the method info. Okay, let's see it will work or not. Okay, you see this one. First it will run. Okay, construct radio, and then call it Langsari. Why? Because we want to call the construct. Okay, first is a construct of this thing. Okay, so and then this one. Okay, this one we will run first because we call the radio, and then it will run this one. Why they are displayed 2 times? Okay, construct, because we are looping 2 times according to our data that we send to. Okay, because we send by 2 data, call it Langsari. If we are by 3, it will run this one by 3 times. Okay, because we directly send, we have no any condition, we just echo. Okay, and then we call this one the construct of the product, this one. Okay, we call this product, this one. It will be plus plus. The start one is 1, and then it will be 2, because there are 2 parameter. Okay, parameter that we send to the radio class. Okay, override. Okay, you look at here, we have the in override folder we have the product, same things. Okay, and then we have radio. Okay, and then you look at radio, we have in the class product, right? Class.product.php, we have a function name info, and then the info itself, they will return this one, right? They will return this one. So we want to change this one. Okay, we want to make this one change according to our need in the inherit class. Okay, inherit class, for example, here we have radio, we inherit from product or extend. So we want to do what? We want to do rewrite. Okay, override, we call override. We do something over than the existing thing. Okay, we call override. So we want this one, this default one, right? If you compare with this okay, you look at this one. Okay, class info. Okay, we want to override class info. Okay, this one just only return. Okay, but we want to echo. Okay, we want to echo the radio, this one, just a little bit change. We want to see, we want to see the result. Okay, what that's override for. Okay, and then we call in index. Okay, this one, and then we call the info, because we already echo, we don't need to use echo in this index.php. Then we call just only one, should be call it Langsari. It will be 1 and call it. Okay, let's try to run. Okay, this one, it will be radio 1, call it. Why they have radio? Because in the function info, okay, in the class the radio.php, we specify radio, right? So it will be displayed the radio first, this one. Okay, it will be the radio, and then call it 1 is call it, and 1 call it. Okay, but if we do not override, if we run this one automatically, this one, we will run this one automatically. Info, if we call info, it will return without any name of radio, for example. Okay, this is we call override. You can override any feature. Okay, when you extend, and then you can override. Okay, with a function get id, get name, set id, and so on, you can override. Even the construct, right? As the previous, we have done the override also. For example, this one. Okay, we override this one. Okay, construct from the previous, this one, inherit constructor. We override the constructor of the parent class. Okay, that is the product. We can protect our method, okay, our class, our property, by using final. Okay, using final. If we want our class, or our property, our method that's end at that time, so we have to use a word that final in front of the function or the property to make it stop over there. Then we another inherit the class, they cannot be override. Okay, they cannot be override. For example, here we have start the same thing with class product, and then we try to which one, info, right? And then in radio, okay, in radio we have the radio. Okay, we extend the class. from product, okay, as a radio, and then we echo this one. If you want this class to be the final one, okay, we write this one, okay, final function, and then it will be no override anymore. If some class that extend this one, okay, or inherit the radio, okay, they cannot be override this function, okay, they cannot be override anymore because they write the final. Final mean last one, okay, last of the last, okay. Let's try this one, okay. The calling is same thing. There is nothing change because we are forecasting about this thing, okay. Final, the word is final, to finalize our method or properties. Okay, run, maybe the same result as we expected, okay. In terms of class diagram, we can see that there are two classes, okay. There are two classes, and then you see this one, we have the same things, okay, and then radio we have class info, okay, and then there will a little bit symbol over here that is say that we are override, okay, we write final, sorry, we write final, okay, this one for info, okay, we got the info also in product, and then we override by using radio, and then we write final in this radio, okay. Abstract class, okay. Abstract class, we start abstract as abstract. It means something you are not sure about it, okay. You are try to make the class to be abstract. Abstract is you want is declare a class name, and you want to use the function. You can use as the function that is given by the abstract class, okay. For example, we have abstract. To declare abstract, we start by abstract, small letter, okay, class, and then product, okay, and then followed by the property and function, okay. As we have here, there is nothing change. And then we have one thing more add to here. We add one thing that we call function report, okay, function report, abstract function report. If we define the abstract class, we have to have the abstract function also. Remember that there is in abstract function there is no open bracket and close bracket, okay, no open and close bracket. Remember this one, okay. This is abstract. When we want to use, we refer to this feature, okay. Another file that I want to use, they have to use the same name, okay, the same name as that we define in the main class, okay. For example, here we use radio extend product, and then we use the product report, right, okay, and then we try to get the data, okay, this one, okay. Let's see, okay. You look at carefully inside the function report. There is no function, and there is no property. There is just only name of the abstract, name of function, okay, name of function, okay. So we can declare here, okay, by using extend. We extend more, and then we write the code more for that abstract, okay. Let's run this one. It's working or not, okay. Something wrong here. There is not display. Let's see where our code by using the another PHP engine to run, okay. We have abstract. Where is abstract class, okay. Something wrong here. You see something wrong here because why? Because you look at here the report, we do not access any, okay. You cannot, there is not able to use this method to get ID and get name of the get ID, okay. This one, get ID and get name, this one cannot be accessed. Something wrong with this one, okay. So this is about the abstract. If you wanna use, you can write the name, okay. You can write actually we write the function, and then the function of the abstract, okay, the function of the abstract class, okay. This one we have to fix this class because something wrong inside this one. This is the format one where you want the abstract, okay. When class start by abstract class, so it will be also abstract function, okay. This one. If we look at class diagram, it will look like this one. Okay, if you look carefully, if this is normal class symbol, this is abstract class. Okay, if you look a little bit different, okay, then there is abstract function. Okay, it will display like this. Okay, this is report. This is the method of the abstract product. Okay, we have anonymous classes. Okay, anonymous class that, if you look at here, anonymous class, there is no class name. Okay, if you see this one, we have we create anonymous class, we create new class. This one, you see there is no name of class, right? This is no name of the class. Okay, we call anonymous class, and then in this class, this object. Okay, we initiate the object without we create object that based on anonymous class. We have to include also function. They can include also property and so on. For example, here we define an object equal to new class. This way we identify a new anonymous class. We use this class for testing. We use this class we do not sure that what name of the class that will be. Okay, so we can use anonymous class, and then later we can change to be the normal class. Okay, for example, here we have the function hello, and then we receive one argument, and then we want to return the hello. Okay, hello strong student. For example, I want to echo student object. We get object, and then hello, we call this method. Okay, and then we send this sentence, strong student, hello strong student, for example. When I run this one, okay, it will return hello strong student. Okay, but there is no name of the class. Okay, we call anonymous class. If you see the code that running without any name of the class, this is we call anonymous class. Okay, let's see in terms of the class diagram what the anonymous class look like. Nothing, right? They just symbol only that there are class over there, but there is no name. Okay, but there should be one function that we call hello, right? This one hello, but there is no name of the anonymous, right? This is we call anonymous, no name. Okay, class is no name, we call anonymous. Interface. Okay, we can say that the code nowadays, there are many developers, they are using interface. Okay, why we use interface? Because we want to make the class and the property name to be one standard. Okay, if you want to refer to my class, you have to use as the name that I given on the interface. Otherwise, it will be some kind of error. Okay. For example, this one I define as a class DB driver. For example, class name the DB driver, database driver. For example, this one. By specify the interface, you have to start by interface lowercase. Okay, by interface lowercase letter, and then followed by the interface name. Okay, okay, open bracket, close bracket, and then inside the interface you have to follow by the function. Okay, the function name, and then followed by function. The function should be public. Okay, should be public, and then the function name. For example, here we have two function. Okay, we have function connect and then function execute. Okay, in function execute we have the one argument that is SQL. Okay, SQL. Let's test one. Okay, if we want to use interface, so we have to inherit. Okay, we have to inherit. For example, here we inherit from the class the driver db driver.php, right? So we had included because we do not use only Autoload yet. So we inherit by class. Okay, class MySQL driver. For example, from db driver, from the database driver, we want to make a MySQL driver. Okay, so by inherit we are using implement in terms of the interface. Okay, if you are using the normal inherit, we use extend, right? For example, inheritance here we use extend, right? The keyword is extend. but interface they are using implement with S. Okay, we are implemented from the parent class, the parent interface. There is DB driver to be in our class. There is MySQL driver. When you run this one, you will got an error. Okay, you will got an error. That's why I say error 1 here. Okay, let's try to run. Okay, see there's something error here, but did not display. Let's run by using our web browser. Okay. Okay, we have the interface. Where is interface? This one. Okay. Okay, this one, if you run this one, there is nothing because it's working correct. There is no echo, there is no return result. So let's run error 1. Okay. When you run the error 1, it will show this error, fatal error for you, because there is the MySQL driver content to abstract method must be declare abstract and implement remain the method. For example, here they say db driver connect and then db driver execute, right? Okay, this one we have to include this one. Okay, they say this is error. The error is nice. If you can read it all, you can understand it, you can make it more easy to detect for troubleshoot. Okay, so we have to include the connect and execute. Okay, from the db driver. Okay, they say this one you have to refer. Okay, you have to declare abstract or implement the remaining method from the db driver in your MySQL driver class. Okay, let's add. Okay, let's add. When we add it, okay, when we add it, for example, this one we same thing. We have MySQL driver that using that inherit from the db interface. Okay, db driver interface. So we use initiate. We run this one. Okay, we initiate the connect and execute. Okay, we have to follow this standard. Okay, connect and execute. Okay, connect and execute. This is the main thing of the interface. Okay, it becomes something that standard name of the interface, and then standard name of the function that we want to use. We have to use the same name. For example, here connect and execute. Okay, let's run this one. You got some kind of error 2. Okay, error 2. When you run this one, you will get fatal error also. Okay, they say that declaration of MySQL driver execute must be compatible with db driver execute. Remember, we have in db driver execute we have one argument that we call $SQL, right? So we have to include also in the MySQL execute. That's why this one, whatever they declare in the interface as a superclass, you have to declare also in the subclass. Okay, this one we miss something here, $SQL, right? Or another name, but should be one argument over there. Let's fix the problem. Okay, this is the code that can be complete without any error. We implement the driver, okay, as an interface driver to the MySQL driver. We extend and then use the interface, and then the interface name from this, right? Connect and execute with one parameter, this one. Okay, SQL. And then in execute we use one argument also, as we call SQL or query or SQL, whatever name, but should be a parameter. Okay, when we run this one, it should be no error. Okay, no error show to us. Okay, anymore. Okay, MySQL driver, this is nothing happened. Okay, why? Because we do not do anything inside the function. We just declare the class name and then the implement from the db driver interface, and then we declare the function, but we do not do anything here. Okay, we do not do connecting to which database execute which SQL query that we had to execute. Okay, this is the interface. Okay, you want to make one standard name of your library, so you can use interface to be the standard, and then if someone want to use that name, you have to refer to your interface as one single standard name. Okay, this is interface. Let's see in terms of class diagram what the interface will look like in terms of class diagram. Okay, the name will look like this, the name of interface, and then the symbol will be changed to be this symbol. Okay, it refers to interfaces. Okay, if we look at the method, there are two methods here. We have connect and execute with SQL. What we call SQL argument, okay, or parameter. If we look at the MySQLDB driver, okay, this one, we generate to be class diagram, okay, and then we will see something different. You see this one, implement, they are using this symbol, okay, another association, okay, another relationship from one class to another, okay. Okay, this one, we the main interface is DB driver, okay, and then two method, and then we implement or inherit from the superclass. That is MySQL. We inherit to be class MySQL driver, and then they should be contain also two function same as the superclass defined, and then class with if they consist of any argument or parameter that you have to give it to that method, okay, otherwise it will be some kind of error, okay. So you will see if you have a connect, you have execute, the name should be match, okay, between two class that implement or doing the interface, okay. Polymorphism, okay, we have one another advantage of object oriented is we call polymorphism. Polymorphism means that same class but different form, okay, same thing but different form, okay. One class can be, one object can be represented in many form, okay. For example, here we have class product, right, okay, same class that we have, and then we have class radio, okay, and then we extend to be from product, we extend to be radio, and then we can extend to be computer, okay. In the radio we display radio, in computer we display computer, okay. This is we call polymorphism, okay. The main point of polymorphism is we extend the product, right, the product is the same, okay, it can be computer, it can be radio according to here. For the you say human can be man and woman, right, can be child, can be adult, young, or whatever. This one we call polymorphism. The same thing, the same object but different form, okay, different form, okay. The same product but different item, for example here, okay. This is a product also, computer is a product, radio is a product, okay, okay, that but different, they display in different form, we call polymorphism. This is a concept of polymorphism, okay. When we want to use this one, we have to include, okay, remember this one, whatever class we want to use, we have to include, and then for example we run here as pro, and then we have a computer, radio, for this one, computer, ThinkPad, MacBook Pro, for example, okay. Computer can be 2 times or 3 times or whatever, it depends on us, okay, it depends on us. Let's run this code. Is we working or not, okay. If we return as the first is a radio, okay, radio, okay, because we display we extend from the radio, right, we use the radio class valid, okay, and then the computer, okay, will be ThinkPad, and then computer will be MacBook Pro, will be ThinkPad and will be MacBook Pro, okay. This one, they are same object but different form. This is we call polymorphism. Let's see in terms of the code, the class diagram, what will look like, okay. For example, from computer, right, you generate the diagram, you see this one, it's not different, okay. They different in terms of concept, okay, the in terms of concept, not in terms of practical, okay, not in terms of class diagram, okay. Another advantage of the object oriented is information hiding. Okay, information hiding. As you can see here, we have product, right? We have the property, and then we have function, right? Okay, everything that you work with, the people or the user do not know about the function inside, what you are going to do, but they know that this function what can be done for. Okay, for example, this function used to display info, but how it work they may not know. They know just only send the argument and then we reply back the result. This is we call information hiding, or in object oriented we call encapsulation. Okay, this class this class product encap property and the function. This is we call encapsulation. If you want to use, you call product and then call the function. Okay, but within the function they will not know what thing that have been done inside. Namespace, we have namespace. For example, here the namespace we have radio, right? Class radio. Okay, we have class radio.php. See this one. And class radio, we have one function that we call report. Okay, they will display this thing. Okay, but the main point of here is namespace and then followed by the name. Okay, whatever name that you wanna give to this file. Okay, actually by normal we call by this. Okay, we call by this one, right? You wanna use the radio, include by radio, and then followed by the initiate any object. Okay, any class will be an object radio. And then report. If you run this one, you will got an error. Okay, for example, let's run. You will got an error. Okay, you see there is no return anything. Okay, because what? Because they are using namespace. So when they use namespace, you have to refer to this class by using a namespace also. Okay, by using use. Let's see. Okay, namespace start by namespace, small letter. Okay, small letter. And then followed by the namespace name. Okay, for example here 2. Okay, when you imagine the namespace, it look like your computer system file. Okay, when you want to store any kind of file, right, in one folder you can store different file, right, different name of folder. If you are storing the same name of file, it will be asking you to replace, right? We call collision or we call redundant. Okay, if you wanna make the same file, you have to store in different folder, right? For example, here I have this one, right? Okay, and then I have another folder. For example, this one I have folder 1, I have folder 2, right? If I want to create new 1, right? I cannot create here. Okay, for example, I giving the 1. It will asking me that already taken, right? Already taken. So we have to giving another name, right? We can give to another 3, right? For example, 1, 2, 3. This is the folder name. It's as namespace. So if we want to store 1, we can store 1 inside 1, right? For example, this one, we can store 1. Okay, or we can store 3. Okay, you can see this one. Yeah. You look at here, we can see that 1, 2, 3. In 2 there is nothing, but in 1 we have 1 and 3, right? This one, you see 3. If we store 3 outside, if we not available, right? If we not available, it will asking you that there something already exists. Okay. Also 1, if you move to the main folder, it will not see. You're not able to do it. Okay, you have to replace it or you have to overwrite. Okay, so you can use this one. Okay, where you can store 1 inside 1. Okay, this is the same concept as namespace. Okay, if you are working for many person, and then the radio can be you. Another developer wanna do the class radio also, another person wanna do the class radio also. It will be collision, it will be complex. Okay, in your project. You working alone is okay. Okay, you working alone, okay, because you remember all class name, right? You can remember, you can change the class according to your need, according to the different name. But you working for many person, it will be difficult for us. Okay, for example, namespace here. Yeah, for example, here we are named as 2. Okay, when you wanna use radio, you have to follow by 2 and then follow by the class name. Okay, class name. Let's see. By calling the namespace. Okay, we have to include the radio first, okay, the class, and then when we want to use, okay, we do not initiate such like this, right? We do not initiate such this one, okay. This is normal, okay. We call by normal, we call like this, okay. This is the normal call initiate object of the class, okay. But when you use namespace, if we refer to two radios, okay, two radio, and then you can use the function inside, okay. Why we use this one? To remove duplicate or conflicts, or we call collision between the class, okay. We have many for the class can be collision because we do not know what different developer they may like to use this name, okay. For example, radio, another person will use radio also, it will be collision which radio they are trying to call, okay. So better to use namespace, okay. You can call namespace by alias, okay, sorry. This one, same thing, okay. You include the radios, okay, and then this is we call by a normal namespace, okay, and then we can alias, okay, we can alias by R. For example, this one we use 2, okay, and then SR, and then we use R, okay. Sometimes the class name is very long, very long name, right? We don't want to refer to this one, right? It's very long name to call, so we can refer to be as one, we call alias, okay, SR, and then we can use R, okay, anywhere in our class, okay. This we call alias, okay. We have namespace inside namespace. We can call the namespace, okay, namespace like that, and then we can call namespace, okay. This is nothing different, okay. Beyond the main point is this one, okay. The first is we declare the namespace, and then followed by namespace name, okay, and then when we want to call, we call through 2, okay. For example, here namespace, and then followed by class name, for example here, okay, and then we use new also, okay. We'll use new, we use 1, okay, and then we can call by alias, okay, this one. When we call already this one, this is a little bit long name. This is an example, it's very short name, but in the component they are using a long name, so we don't want to remember the name. We can refer to something else that we can easily to remember. As here we use R, and then we can use R, our project, okay. See the class diagram of the radio. There's nothing different. There we add some kind of, no, they will not show anything, okay. They will not show us what is, they just only show the function, okay, the function that consists inside that class, okay. And the last topic is Autoload. We have class radio, we have class computer, so we don't want to include every time that we want to use, right? For example, here when we want to use something, right, we have to include, right? We have to include this everything every time that we want to use any class, okay. For example, here, right, 2 times of include, right, include class product, include class radio. So if we want to make it automatically load the class into our workspace, so we can use the Autoload, okay. We name is Autoload. The Autoload is will look like this, okay. We use SPL Autoload register, okay. This is the predefined function by the PHP, and then we autoload everything that related to class that's stopped by the PHP, okay, class name and then PHP. For example, here we are autoloading the radio, this one, okay. We loading this one, and they want to print this thing, okay, and then we autoload. Let's try to run this one, okay. Autoload. We return you, my name is old fashioned radio, okay, as we display here. you look at here, we do not do any including, right? Include and then followed by class name and then include many times, right? As we did here, right? Okay, we can use autoload. Okay, mainly right now the autoload can be done by using composer. Okay, composer will autoload the class of the component by automatically by itself. Okay, if you want to test and you want to make your own project, your own component or library, you don't want to include something like this, so you can use autoload to load the class to your file. Okay, this one just only 2 include, right? There may be 10 include, right? 20 include inside the class, so better to use autoload to load the class into our project. Okay.